Hey everyone, and welcome to the Newbie Real Estate Investors of New Jersey podcast. I'm Jonathan Boyle.
And I'm Joey Chan, and today we have a special guest for you guys. Her name is Holly Fagan, and she's a fix and flipper. She's a buy and holder, and soon the future queen of syndication here in New Jersey and also everywhere else.
So stay tuned, everyone.
Hey Holly, tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. I mean, I first started, I was always interested in making money. Literally in like 7th grade, I was part of the stock market club.
Oh, wow.
I was that kid. And then, I went into studying business, so I was actually a double major of finance and marketing in college.
Okay.
I played Division I softball, so, I went to St. Joe's in Philadelphia.
Oh, my brother went too.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
He got a scholarship.
Hawks.
What year did you go?
I graduated in 2008.
Okay.
So I was there from
Okay.
2004 to 2008.
Yeah, I don't know when you graduated, so I don't even know why I asked.
Well, I don't know. Hawk will never die. So I studied marketing and finance, and actually out of 8th grade, I was an intern at UBS for like 7 summers. People were asking me, is that even legal? So the way I did that was in 8th grade, one of my classmates, his mother worked at UBS and she got a bunch of us internships there. So I was one of the very few that stayed up until the end. And so I've literally have never had a summer off since 8th grade of working.
Oh, wow.
So I've always had that mindset of just working and what can I do next to make money, be ahead, and things like that. So I had the finance background. I double majored in college. I graduated in 2008. That's when the stock market crashed. UBS wouldn't even hire me because they were doing their own layoffs. I was there longer than people that had their full-time jobs. They still wouldn't hire me. So I went into marketing. So now I still have my W-2 job. I work as a market research consultant. And so it's flexible because I work from home, so I'm able to balance real estate, but I still have to manage both things, so you have to be very detailed, have good time management skills, so sometimes it gets crazy, but it's good. Yeah, so I have that real estate on the side, really, so it's a good balance at this point. Yeah. And then,
Right, so how did you get started in the real estate part?
So for real estate,
Go ahead.
Okay. So how did you get started in the whole real estate space?
So for real estate, I was always interested in real estate. I actually purchased my own place that I still live in about almost 7 years ago now at 26. I'm telling you how old I am. I'm 33. I look like I'm 12.
I get that all the time. So I'm 29, and anytime I'm talking to people, they're just like, "Wow, I thought you were like 20."
Yeah, no, it's funny.
I'm not going to tell you how old I am. So.
I know when people talk to me too, it's like, oh, you're a woman, you do real estate, and you're not 12. But yeah, I get the same exact thing. But yeah, so when I first started, I bought my place at 26, and then about, I think it was 3 years later, I wanted passive income, and I was always a saver. So I bought a condo in Jersey City Heights area. So I was like, and I did that conventionally, put the 20% down. And then shortly after, in 2017, it is very random. My father passed away in 2017.
Sorry.
And thank you. In March. So then I got a flyer in the mail for going to this real estate event. I'm like, all right. I was always interested in real estate. The random thing was it was on his birthday, May 17th. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll just go, whatever, because the real estate piece of it, I'm always interested in wanting more and just, having that drive to really, I want more rentals. I knew I wanted that. So I went to the event, and from there, they, lured me in, nothing's free, signed up for the education. So I wound up going to a course, and that was in June. And when I was done with that course, a week later, this is the even more random thing, I had to travel for work for my W-2 job, and I was going to California. Mm-hmm. So when I go there, I like to kind of explore the areas a little bit if I can and have the time to. So I went to like a Japanese tea garden. I don't know, it was a botanical garden, had like flowers and stuff like that, whatever. And they had like a little cafe. So I went to the cafe, And I finished eating and I had a fortune cookie. And the fortune cookie said that you will do better in real estate than in stocks. And I was like, that is like, it didn't say, you know, like you will run into good fortune or someone loves you. I was like, no one ever gets this. So I actually have that fortune cookie framed on my desk. It's sitting on my desk. Awesome. So I was like, that's very random. Like, that's nothing to do. It's just a coincidence because I was going to do it anyway. It was just very random that those things like
it just kind of like pushed you even more forward. Like, yes, I know the universe wants me to do this.
It's very random. But yeah, from there, I created my company, Peace of Mind Property. And I created that only about a little over 2 years ago now. So I've been doing fix and flips and buy and holds and things like that, rehab rental, cash out refinances, and then up until today now, just participating in syndications really and looking what I can do to scale my business in multifamily space.
Nice. So if you could tell us a little bit about that first, or maybe not the first deal, but that deal that really got you.
Or like the most memorable something.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. I mean, I guess my first deal, it was in Elizabeth for a rental at least, not a fix and flip. It was a 2-family in Elizabeth. The day of closing on that deal even was insane. The closing happened in Hackensack, and I showed up at the closing, and it happened to be that the insurance person didn't put the right clause for the lender and they didn't like it. And then I called them, I said, can you change this and send it over? Oh no, we need you to actually come down to our office in Elizabeth, pay in cash day of. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm sitting here in Hackensack at the closing table with the lawyer. So I had to leave Hackensack, drive all the way to Elizabeth because I knew I had to find a bank, take out money, and then pay in cash and say, and like the time is winding down now for me to transfer my wire over to. Yeah. So I'm like, can you hurry up? And then I find everything wound up working out, but I literally was going from place to place on that deal just to even close it. So I mean, the way I actually got that deal, also I'll back up. It was from an auction. So it was a wholesaler that went to an auction, and so it was an auction property, and I paid for it and took the property over, and then did a rehab on it. And the way that I did it was I used a hard money loan. And that was the big point of difference for me at that conference that I went to. I was like, oh, I'm doing this conventionally. Never knew hard money existed. I was like, that's how people do this. And that's really what kind of drove me to actually do all this. And then so I used the hard money lender to fund that deal. And then I guess along the way too, I had a lot of hurdles with contractors. I think that's pretty common.
We
still do it all the time.
I mean, you have to get when I first submitted the budget to my lender, I did it just by estimating on my own, and I shouldn't have done that. Like, that was something that, like, you really should have your contractors come beforehand and give you that printout, because if you don't, the lender's going to give you a hard time. They're going to say, you're updating electric, it's not in here. I'm like, okay, well, and then they'll fight with you about it. So if you don't have everything in line, they're going to, depends on your relationship with the lender, but
of course,
they're going to give you stuff about it. But yeah, I mean, and there was just stuff, like, I had to be there. I had to go somewhere one day, and I had to be there at like 10 a.m. and I'm there at 8 a.m. at the house for pickup for a flatbed truck from Home Depot of toilets and vanities, because I had to be there because nobody else could. It's just like kind of like that house was a lot of hustle and just being there myself. And I even was there helping clean out. We had an issue because the contractor threw all the debris in the yard. So I had my insurance company calling me up off the hook saying, you need to take care of this because it was sheetrock and debris that had been rained on. So then it became hard. And you couldn't even break it. So, and I was there, I felt bad. Like, I actually had to hire somebody to come in and get rid of it. And I'm there actually helping them with my hands and like taking the stuff out because I needed, I didn't want to get a fine from the city. I needed it done.
So you're also hands-on too.
If it needs to be done, I will be there and do it.
Nice.
Hard hat Holly.
Well, I love how you already gave yourself a name for that too. Like, I typically like hire it out even. So.
I did hire it out, and I was just like, I there. I wanted to make sure that it was done, because sometimes like that, because I've run into a lot, like,
Yeah.
like trusting people to do things, the people that you hire your jobs out to, you really do need to make sure you manage them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to make sure that was, and of course that was more so my first deal too. I'm never going to be putting on gloves, and I have better relationships now with people that have these businesses that I can go to and trust. So
Yeah. No, sometimes like contractors, you've got to be very detailed with what you want them to do.
yes,
Because like I'm having that issue right now, and one of my tenants in Irvington, like the electrician did all the work because like he had to change out all the old
the
wiring
yeah.
with the new wiring, and like he didn't clean up after himself. So like there's dust all over the floors,
Yeah.
things like that, and now I have to have someone or do it myself to clean it.
Yeah.
And then, like still with little holes, I have to get someone to plaster it, make it look nice.
Yeah, or it's the best when they have to change the wiring and the contract, like if you have a GC and then an electrician like separate, and they close up the walls and you gotta rip them open again. Who's
Yes.
gonna refix that?
We just we just went through that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, with so John hired a separate electrical contractor to run all the wiring for the AC and heating. So he was supposed to, the HVAC guy was supposed to coordinate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was away, and I was in China actually over the summer, and now everything's sheetrocked, everything's done, and now everybody's like, wait, where's the wiring for the condenser? There's no wire.
So then they had to, brand new sheetrock, all painted, everything looked nice.
Ugh.
Had to cut open holes. I think he cut open so many holes that weren't even necessary, and now we have to fix that. And luckily, the HVAC guy took responsibility, or at least for now.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, just take it out of my cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least there's that. It's handled now. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Could be like, oh no, you guys take care of it, I'm done.
That's true.
Yeah. So, so what are you working on now? Like, what kind of projects are you working on now?
Sure. Right now, I actually have 2 flips going on. One is ending near end in Elizabeth. I have another flip going on in Red Bank.
Oh, okay.
And that'll be done probably February-ish. That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
And then I have a 3-family under contract right now in Elizabeth that I'm going to rehab and hold.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an issue with that one. It's we found out that it's registered with the town as a 2-family, and it's registered with the state as a 3-family.
Oh.
So there's lots of talk back and forth with the seller on this one. So
Yeah.
trying to see what we can work out there now. But in addition to that, I've been going to a lot of multifamily apartment building conferences,
Mm-hmm.
and just networking with syndicators, and really trying to scale my business right now, just to invest in those 200, 300 unit apartment buildings. Because really, I don't want to be the owner of a million, duplexes, triplexes. It's nice when you can scale and everything's in one bucket. So I've really been going to conferences, and right now I'm cold calling for 2 different teams and underwriting as well. We just put an offer in yesterday, actually, on one. It's a 270 unit in Atlanta.
Wow.
The offer was $33.8 million.
Oh, wow.
So, that's, if the fingers crossed on that one.
That's scary.
There's always due diligence and things like that, but that's most current that I've got there in the syndication world.
Nice.
But I've only, and that's what I said, for people, I've only been doing this really for, as a company officially, a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
So, it's doable.
Yeah, it's just incredible where you could be in a 2-year time frame.
Yeah, I'm like everybody else that just that is just starting, they think about the 200, 300 unit apartment building. They're like, how do I do that? That's not possible.
Yeah,
People can't. Like, I don't even want to touch that because I have no idea it's fake or there's skepticism.
Yeah, it seems very intimidating. When you're talking about that, and you have people that are doing single family flips, and they can't even get through that.
Right.
And now you're talking about 200 units, 300 units.
Just multiply it by 200.
Yeah, it's like that much more headache. But the real truth is that it's not that much more headache.
Yeah,
right?
Because your roof breaks, it's one roof. Your roof breaks on 5 houses.
Yeah.
You have to tend to 5 different, so there's, it's economies of scale really, and just like a lot of things that are more efficient when you're working with multifamily, and then like even passive investing for people that don't do real estate.
Right.
There's ways to passively invest and have ownership in 200, 300 units, and you just kind of like collecting a check in the mail where you basically have a rental that you're not actively managing. So people don't. I think it's a lack of knowledge. Not to say on their end at all, but it's just if people don't know about things, they're more likely to shy away from it.
Yeah,
of course. It's just kind of like actually no, that's not really a good example. Never mind. So Holly, what's some great piece of advice you would give to a newer investor?
So for a new investor, I would definitely say networking is the #1 thing that you should be doing, because like I said, I've only started this two years ago, and everything I've done has been through networking. Like my first flip that I did, I partnered with somebody on it, at a person that I met at a meetup.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you don't want to go, there's always something that you're going to learn. You should be partnering with people, and also hard money lenders. They're at meetups. Make friends with them. So I mean, that's everything that I have, between accountants, lawyers, hard money lenders, partners, just even people that I ask questions to every day. There's you find these people at meetups. So I mean, that's it. And then also when you go to these meetups, just be a sponge. Absorb all the information you can, because there's always stuff that you can learn, no matter where you are. You're new, you're experienced. Always look for opportunity to learn. I mean, that's really what you need to do, and really never stop. The hustle. Do what needs to be done. Figure out a way to do it. Don't quit. A lot of people quit.
Yeah, it's not an easy business. So it takes a lot out of you. It does take a lot of time. People think it's okay, you're just doing real estate, you're making a few phone calls and you're done. But it's a lot more than that. It's building that network.
Right.
I'm saying, that's very important.
Yeah. No, it's also very rewarding, because I was telling so I was on a panel yesterday, and I was telling the panel yesterday, or the people yesterday, my girlfriend was asking me, because we're taking a trip to Japan on Monday, and some of my closings haven't happened yet, so we're running pretty lower on funds. Yeah. And she's like, oh, how are we gonna have a good time? Blah blah blah. We're not gonna have much to do. We're gonna be living ramen noodle diet or something. And I was like, no, we'll figure it out. And then I totally forgot. And I called Joey up that same day. I think you know what I'm gonna mention.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, so I just realized we have this much in the bank account for this property. Totally forgot that bank account even existed.
It's a great surprise.
Yeah, and then it's you're cool with me just taking out some later on, this week, right? And he's like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Part of it is your
money.
Yeah, exactly. And then another even better surprise yesterday was, after the panel was done, I got a text from my buddy. He's one of my paralegals. And he's like, so what happened to this deal or whatever? And I was like, oh, that's dead. Don't worry about it. And then he's like, you do know you have an escrow of $5,000 in that, right? And I'm like, I do now. I totally forgot.
Now you're going to luxury suites.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? The crazy thing is, I've never been to Japan, but I heard it was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
For food and shopping and stuff. So
yeah.
it's not gonna get too far.
Yeah, I've never been to Japan. Been to Thailand.
Oh yeah, no, Thailand. I splurged money and spent $8,000, and I tried to spend money.
Yeah. No, for sure. Thailand's pretty good vacation.
Yeah.
You do a lot of things there. Your money goes a long way there.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, totally off topic. I'm just saying that the rewards of real estate are definitely there.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely. So, sorry, I'll just kind of bring us back to real estate a little bit. So, what are your future endeavors? What do you have planned now going forward?
I mean, for me,
As far as,
definitely like syndication world. Like that's. I mean, I'm really like foot forward. Like I'm going to. I'm actively looking for deals. I want to get one under contract. If I can get one under contract before end of year, that's really my goal. Like it's almost end of year, but we threw in an offer yesterday. Like I said, I'm trying to get one under. That'd be great. Like to have that. And then really from there scaling business and continuing to do that. I really want to build a team myself because right now, like I said, I'm cold calling underwriting for 2 teams that I'm a part of, which is great because it helps me learn the process also.
Oh, absolutely.
And then that's really, I mean, I want to be the person that's, you know, I want to be a GP partner and I will be on these deals, but I want to have it be my own team, and then kind of my goal is to own those units. I want, you know, legacy income. Like that's my ultimate goal. Like legacy that will outlive me. Like I want to have that passive income on a unit that's working for me.
I think we have the same goals here.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can, and that's the other thing too. It would, we're at the space that I'm holding my meetup. First one's going to be next week, which is the 20th. We'll have another one in December, so depending on when you guys air this.
Yeah, so it'll probably be aired in December, so probably by the time you have your second.
Yeah, so I mean, I started a meetup group, and we're having the kickoff, like I said, a week from today, and it's all about syndication. So it's really like if and people that are doing the residential single family or 2-family, they're of course welcome to come because it's learning how to scale your business. Like that's usually the next steps when people want to scale or like figure out what can they do more for themselves. Like they have that drive to do that. It's basically learning, teaching people how they can get into the space.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, and it's also for those who that are currently syndicating. You can find partnerships, the networking piece of it, because there's going to be people that are doing syndications currently. So I mean that's it's if you would want to join the group, it's meetup.com/multifamilymastersnj. And then you join the group, and then the event's on there, and then you'll have updates. We'll have one recurringly every month, and it'll be here at this awesome space there.
Yeah, beautiful space.
It's definitely beautiful.
Yeah. And so how can someone reach out to you on social media? What platforms are you on, and what are your handles?
Sure. So I'm on Instagram. You can find me. It's Holly_Peace of Mind Property. Peace of Mind Property is my company. I'm on Facebook, Holly Fagan. We also have, like I said, you can go to the meetup site. Our main website is pomproperty.com. So POM as in peace of mind, property.com. We'll have your links there to Instagram and Facebook. We have a Facebook page also. It's facebook.com/peace of mind multifamily masters.
Awesome.
And I mean, I guess I just have like one final question for you. Do you listen to any books or podcasts that you would recommend?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as far as a book, I would recommend the Best Ever Apartment Syndication book by Joe Fairless. That book, it's like $50, but it's worth every penny. Even if you're not interested in syndication, if you don't even know what a syndication is, you should buy the book because it teaches you how to build a business. So in general, like it even tells you like how to market yourself, start a YouTube channel, start a podcast. Like it tells you all the steps of how to do things. And then as far as a podcast, I'm big on Rod Cleef. Rod Cleef, like Lifetime Cash Flow. He introduced it. Well, he has interviews, of course, like in the syndication piece, but he also incorporates mindset. So I'm big on mindset. Like mindset is huge in this business, and like I said too, like it's not a real, it's a people business, real estate.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I like that he has the mindset piece of things, and he has his conferences typically every 3 to 4 months. He has one this January in LA. Probably gonna attend it. There's Joe Fairless has his as well. So these are the conferences that I've been going to really to network with people. So
Very nice.
would definitely recommend going to those conferences because they're very valuable just to learn, and the networking. You just connect with these people that are doing things that you want to do. Like surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to do, and you'll get there.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, those are definitely some of the things, like I said, at least I want to get into in the future. Well, I see you at the meetups,
Yep.
the multi-family meetups. So
Yeah, I mean, and it's possible for anybody, really. Like, I've only been doing this for 2 years, and I went from like this partnering to do like the single-family fix and flips, and yesterday put in an offer on 270 units for $33 million. Like, I never would think that I would do that, but you connect with the right people, and you start learning, and you figure it out. So
Yeah, exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head there. That like you figure it out. Like the biggest thing most people fail to do is take action.
Yes.
Like for example, like I'm under contract right now to buy a bar,
Nice.
and so that's gonna be kind of like my next step for like setting up like meetups and things like that for myself.
It works.
And I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out like
It
every
doesn't
step of
matter.
the way.
Just you will. I mean, if you have that drive, you will figure it out. Like that's how I am. Like instead of like crying about the problem, like you figure it out and make it work. And like those are you really have to do that. Most people when they have deals or they do whatever, they don't take action. They come to meetups and they don't really follow up, or they go to these conferences and they don't actually they absorb the information, but they don't think about it afterwards. I mean, you should be really reflecting and like just taking action and doing things. Like if you see a deal that you like, put an offer on it. Put an offer on like 10 deals. Like as long as you're just doing something. And the only way to learn is to really go through the process. Like it's really your own experience.
Yeah.
I think everyone here can agree that like when you did your first deal, you didn't know everything that you were doing.
I had no idea. I was like, awesome. This house, it's gonna cash flow, and I know it will. And I have no idea how to do it, but I'm gonna ask every person I know along the way how to like for their connections and how to do this, and I figured it out.
Exactly. Like I think legitimately for my first deal, I was like, okay, so for the final inspections, there's final plumbing. Final electrical.
Yes.
Like I figured it out while I needed what I needed, asking the township.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, me and the Elizabeth Township, we're best friends. That's primarily where I'm investing for like the smaller multifamily, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we want to thank you for being on our show, and good luck on the new meetup.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely can't wait to come take a look at it in December.
Yeah, no, for sure. And thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, it was our pleasure.
Thank you.
Of course.
Take care, everyone.